call myself a comic book artist, number one.
Yeah.
You know, I tell people I'm not a comic book artist. I am a photorealistic airbrush artist. That I decided, I chose to use, you know, go after comic book characters and render them in realistic format. So I'm not really a comic book artist to say, you know, like I don't do panel art. I don't draw, you know, storyboards. I mean, I can do all of that 100%. I'm real good at concept art and everything. You know, I do concept art right now, but I'm not a comic book artist. I don't, you know, I don't classify myself as a comic book artist.
Yeah.
So
right now, currently, what do they have you doing if they're not because most people would think you would be doing panels for specific types of comics. But what you're doing is a little bit different. So
what I do,
for them now.
Yeah, what I do is what they call specialty art. I guess if you want to put it in that definition, there's a variety of different avenues of art for comic books and graphic novels and everything. You don't necessarily have to do panel art if you're working with comic book characters. There's limited edition posters based on comic book characters, variant covers, you know, specialty covers based on
variant covers are big now.
Yeah, variant covers. There's special, you know, those covers. They're just specialized, you know, for a different series of, like, say, the new Spider-Man or a new series of, like, the Rebirth 52, you know, or the Rebirth or New 52. Sorry. And they'll do a variant cover, like a one-off. Well, that's what I do. I'll do the story in one painting that's based on that entire novel.
So would that be something too that they could use in a movie?
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, I'm moving up to, like, doing movie posters and, you know, things like that, promo posters for like, you know, it could be like the next Wonder Woman.
So in the near future, we could see a billboard for the actual movie at a movie theater, and it's from your.
Yes, in fact, I have one up right now. It's on IMDb.
Very cool.
For the new Jekyll and Hyde Detective-Agency film.
Yeah, we got to link to that.
Yeah.
We'll link to
so
that.
that's actually my first teaser image for a movie poster. So that's online right now.
Yeah.
Kevin Grievous, who created Underworld, he is the creator of this new film as well. So,
yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
so that was my latest project that I just completed.
Yeah. So you're not just limited to working with DC though. You're still taking on other projects from different companies too, and doing your own stuff.
Yeah, I'm contracted with Art Brand Studios, which licenses me, gives me the permission, the license to work under DC and Warner Brothers. So I'm basically with Warner Brothers, but just not employed by Warner Brothers. That's the difference.
Yeah.
You know, I'm contracted under Art Brand Studios. Lynn Hoffman is my, you know, vice president over there. So she's my go-to on any projects, any license properties that I want to work on. So, for example, this series that I've been creating for the past over a year, you know, with Fabulous Five, that series is nearly complete now that I'm working on the final paintings. But they've just pulled the Thundercat license for me to work on that next. So
you got a lot going on right now. Yeah. So the Fabulous Five, for those who don't know, is...
That's Wonder Woman. Consists of Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Vixen, Starfire, and Hawkgirl. Right.
So basically, they're the 5 strongest women.
I would say they're the 5. I would say they're the 5 most powerful females in DC's universe.
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. And the style in which you're doing it is kind of, it's not exactly like the comic book. It's not exactly like the movie. It's kind of like your imagined.
It's actually my style is what I would. Basically, I want to bring these characters to life. So it's what I would imagine how they would look in real life. So if these characters were walking the earth in reality, they would look like real people.
Yeah.
So instead of looking like, you know, comic bookish, you know, exaggerated features or whatever, you know, animated, whatever, let's see what they look like as real people. Like you and me, you know what I mean? So that's the whole purpose of why I'm doing what I do with the character, with these 5, you know, characters. And it's really to, like, the whole women empowerment thing, I thought about that like 3 years ago, you know, and that's really what put me in a direction to, you know, decide on doing these 5 characters.
And that's what's probably driving them to be like, we need this done, we need this right now.
They're absolutely like, just, they were blown away by the idea and the fact that it didn't even come from them.
Yeah.
You know, like it came from an outside source that I, you know, was presented to them, that they were just, you know, they were just blown away by the idea. So that's why they've been anxious to, you know, to see the final images get finished.
Yeah. So when you have a style like this, you have models obviously to kind of help you imagine some of this. Are they there with you when you're doing the painting? Do you like take pictures of them and then use it as reference later?
Yes.
Or,
yes. I what I do is I set up. I find my models. I'll imagine what I would think they would, you know, like Supergirl would look like in real life, or Wonder Woman. So I go out and I find people, you know, whether they don't have to be professional models. That's not what it means. It means someone who has that look that is as close to that character as possible, but in a real life format, you know, a real life setting.
Like maybe their stunt double, like would be their stunt double on a movie or something.
Yeah,
like
right. But my take on it is that I've found models successfully through people that I know, like with bodybuilding. You know, me being in, you know, fitness and, you know, the whole bodybuilding and fitness industry. It's easy for me to find models, and acting and, you know, stuff like that. So I find people all the time.
And now I gotta imagine, like, the more you go along, it's gonna be easier and easier. You're gonna have a surplus of people coming to you saying, "Hey, have you ever drawn this character?
Oh, yeah,
I think I might look like
that's
him."
happening right now. So that's been happening for a while now. So I have no shortage of people to model for me, you know. But with this particular series though, I had to be specific, me personally, because it's how I want my painting to look, on how these characters should be presented in real life.
And it's such a big project because it's for DC.
Yeah. And they have their say about it too. But you know, they want them a certain age. You know, they rejected the first 5 that I did because of the age factor thing. You know, like they felt that the models I used were too old. Even Supergirl, they wanted her to be 17 years old instead of, like, you know, in her 20s. So I had to really go back and, like, you know, be specific with who I chose as, you know, to model. So all that was like the hard work and everything. Yeah, the hard work is, you know, the whole behind the scenes thing. You know, what people don't see. You know, like finding the right face. But it went well. I mean, it's, you know, they're out there. So I like I said, I have no shortage of finding people. But what I do is, once I find them, I set up a photo shoot. I learned photography, basic photography. I'm not like a pro photographer, but you know, I learned the concept of lighting, shadows, you know, color. I'm really good with posing and, you know, dynamic posing, dynamic lighting. So I use all of that in my photo shoots. I'll basically have like an idea, a concept of what I already want before I even do the shoot. So I'll maybe draw something up, you know, play around with something in like a thumbnail sketch, get an idea of a pose, you know, the lighting, and then from there I'll find who I'm looking for and I'll set them up exactly, almost as close as I can to what I already created. This way there's no time wasted in trying to create something right there during the shoot. It's instead I know exactly what I'm aiming for, and I get my pictures every time.
Yeah. And that's got to be awesome when it's done, you know, modeling for that and then seeing that in real life.
Well, the models more so, they're more excited about it than me.
Yeah.
You know, to see their faces.
I can imagine.
You know, immortalized as like, you know, some of the most famous characters in the world.
Yeah.
So.
And I got the pleasure of meeting some of your models too at MegaCon, and I look forward to definitely seeing more. But listen, it was great. It was great talking to you.
Thanks.
We're gonna follow up next video after this. So we're filming this now, but to you, this will be on a different day where we're gonna take a look at this right here. So see you guys soon.